up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for We're Here, Season 1, Episode 1. So let me start off by saying I absolutely love this show. I did not know what to expect. I purposely didn't do a lot of reading up on the show and research on the show. All I knew was that Bob the Drag Queen, Eureka, and Shangela were doing this show on HBO, and it was called We're Here. I obviously knew it was going to have something to do with inclusion, and it was going to have some comedy to it because you got 3 drag queens. And so I wasn't sure, but I didn't know what I was getting. And in the first few minutes, I was like, but baby, let me tell you how I love this show. So I might be all over the place because I have a lot of thoughts. I've looked at it twice just to make sure I picked up certain things. I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of emotions. I have a lot going on in my head right now because I really, really, really love this show. We start the episode off. First of all, it takes place in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And for a historian like myself, I obviously understand the historical significance of Gettysburg. But I also understand the makeup of Gettysburg, where yes, Gettysburg is in Pennsylvania. A lot of people consider, oh, the North, oh, they're so progressive and they're so this and so that. But it's a very conservative area. Trump Pence posters in people's windows and things of that nature. So they come to town and they have each one of them have a vehicle that is designed like for them. Bob's looks like a giant purse. Shangela has like the lips and the eyelashes and stuff like that. I forgot what Eureka's was. I didn't write it down. I'm sorry, but Eureka had one that was unique to Eureka. I can't remember what it is now. Damn it. And each one of them is paired with a different person in town that has a different reason for wanting to participate. They're doing a drag show. And each one of them have a different reason as to why they want to participate in the drag show. And so you follow their journey and we get to know their story. And then, of course, the climax of the show is that they do the drag show. So we'll start with Daryl. Daryl is who Shangela is paired with. Daryl is a young man. He's like in his early 20s. He's gay. And he's dealing with getting along with his family and really figuring it all out for himself. I mean, he's still young. He's graduated from high school. He moved away. Things didn't quite work out, so he's back home. He works at Ulta. He loves makeup. Like, that is his thing. He's been playing in makeup since high school and living in his parents' basement. And he's like, I never really thought that I'd be still living in my parents' basement. He said, but, I'm just kind of, he's just kind of figuring it all out. But he definitely wants to work on getting the understanding. It seems like his family accepts him to an extent. Like, I think it's like they accept the fact that he's gay unless they have to see it, if that makes sense. Like, we don't want you to be that kind of gay. The flamboyant gay. The hey girl, hey gay, as long as it's okay, we know you gay, but we don't have to see it kind of thing. And Shangela meets him at work. She goes to the altar. He goes to the altar, and they have a good time. Shangela ends up having an impromptu catwalk with Daryl and Daryl's co-workers, and they just have a really good time. They have fun with it. Then we see Shangela sitting down and talking to the family. And this is what I want to say. I want to give credit to everybody who agreed to participate in this show. Because on this episode, I feel like everybody was being very honest, being very vulnerable. Even if they didn't share their 100% truth, they shared enough of their truth for us to understand and for us to get that insight into the family. And even his father, who's like, the motorcycle rider, kind of, the real, he said in high school, and I found this to be very interesting. He said in high school, I was a pretty boy. Like, I was described as pretty when I was in high school, and I didn't like it. He said, so I got ink, and I scruffed up my face, and I changed my hairdo, and I did things to not look so pretty because he didn't want to be seen as, oh, he's gay, or even questioned. So he became uber masculine to not have the pretty boy face. And so I thought that was very interesting. The only thing I sort of disagreed with Shangela a little bit was Shangela asked the dad, would he be willing to participate in the drag show? And the dad was like, yeah, no, that's not happening. And Shangela said something to the effect of him not agreeing shows that he hasn't fully really accepted, and something to that effect. And I don't agree with that. I think that people can accept and love their family member who's gay without having to fully immerse themselves in them and what they do. Like you don't have to try out drag to accept and love the fact that your child does drag. Like I don't feel that way. Now, maybe Shangela didn't mean it that way, but that's how I kind of took it when the dad. But she did convince the dad. She said, well, would you be willing to let me ride on the back of your motorcycle and you bring me onto the stage? Like, that's how I come onto the stage. Dad was like, absolutely. I'm here for it. I'm cool with that. So I feel like dad was giving y'all an inch, but y'all wanted a mile. You know what I'm saying? Like him saying he didn't want to be in the drag show. I don't know. I didn't read it that way. But it's definitely a conservative family. You can definitely tell that they are struggling with accepting who their son is and accepting, I guess, how much of that they are comfortable with. Because again, Daryl likes makeup. Daryl likes to play in makeup. Is Daryl going to become that gay? Y'all know what I'm saying? So I thought that was definitely an interesting story. Then we have Hunter. You know what? I apologize. That was Hunter's story. Oh Lord, I need to do this whole thing over because I feel really bad that I got the people's names mixed up. Y'all know I normally mess up names, but this one I feel bad about. That was Hunter's story. That was not Daryl at all. That was Hunter. Hunter, 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 Hunter. I really don't want to do this over because I've been talking for 7 minutes, but I really feel bad. That was Hunter's story. Daryl's story is totally different. Daryl is a black man who is the head of multicultural admission. I wrote it down. Multicultural admission at Gettysburg University. And he said that he wants to become a bigger ally, as a straight man, a bigger ally to the community. And so that's why he's agreed to participate in the drag show so that he could have a deeper understanding and say, hey, I'm willing to open myself up to understanding the culture of what it is to be a drag queen and what drag culture is. And in the process, he picked up a lot of gay lingo and slang and just understanding. Like he was like, because he was paired with Bob the drag queen, and Bob was like, I'm your mother now. You are now my drag child. And Daryl was like, well, what does that mean? And they went through explaining the whole thing of what it means to be someone's mother and how you become someone's child and what a house is and what belonging to a house is. And like throughout the episode, you saw them explaining what gag meant and beat your face and like all of these different things. Because Daryl, of course, was like, what does that mean? I don't understand. I don't know. What does that mean? Don't understand it. And so I definitely, again, I loved it. I appreciated it, and it was fun. So Daryl is agreeing, and he's paired with Bob, and so he's going to be in a drag show. Again, the only thing I ain't like about his situation was Bob decided to put him in like a whole petticoat, like a very Gone with the Wind type situation, a petticoat and a bustier and the big hoop skirt, and they were going to play off of the whole Civil War piece, that time period. Bob's outfit was like a military kind of thing. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't crazy about it. I ain't like it. I ain't like the whole reference because I didn't like the whole reference to the whole Gone with the Wind Scarlet O'Hara thing. I ain't like it for the black man. I didn't like it, but anyway, that was what they did. That was what Bob did, honey. That's what Bob did. Okay. Now Eureka's situation was a heartbreaker. Okay. Eureka was paired with Erica. Erica is a mom who is dealing with very conservative religious home, dealing with her mother coming out to her. I mean, your daughter, excuse me. Daughter coming out to her as bi. Oh, this was a heartbreaker. I'm going to be honest with y'all. In the beginning, when Eureka first went to visit and talk to the family, talk to Erica, I thought the daughter was dead. I thought the daughter had committed suicide because was in this family and couldn't be her true, authentic self, and so she ended up committing suicide. That is what I thought it was, child. And I was like, oh Lord, I am so not ready for this. But come to find out, that it wasn't that extreme. Now, as we go through, Miss Erica did not accept her daughter being bi. When her daughter came out to her, her response basically was, God ain't gonna be happy with you. You know, that's just not who we raised you to be. That's not who you are. And she was even one of those mothers that they used to be out there protesting with the signs, talking about, you know, God don't like this for you, Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Like, she was one of those people. She didn't just feel the way she felt. She actively went out and let everybody know how she felt. At Gay Pride, she was one of the protesters to Gay Pride. She was like one of them folk, right? Her daughter ended up moving out the house and moving in with her father because things just got so bad and her mother just would not accept. She said after she came out, that's when she ended up moving out the house. Eureka did reach out to the father to get his side of the story. I'm going to assume that the dad did not agree for that conversation to be filmed. Either that or production decided to be respectful of the conversation and not air the whole thing. Either way, I'm glad because I don't feel like we needed to get it. We got enough. We understood what happened. Dad said, clearly Dad's house is more accepting because that's where the daughter's name is Haley. That's where Haley went. Dad said, listen, I will let Haley know what her mom is doing. It's up to Haley whether she's going to, you know, come or not, but I will definitely let her know what the situation is. Then we see what happened was mom found the daughter's diary. And when she found the daughter's diary and she read it, she said, I could not believe that I could make my daughter feel like she wanted to kill herself. Because in her diary, she wrote about not wanting to be here anymore because of being gay and being conflicted in, I guess, the relationship with her mother. And that's why when she said I found her diary and she said that I was like, did this little girl commit suicide? Like, I was like, oh my God, like, I'm not ready for that. But she's still alive, child. But then once the mother found a diary, she kind of did a whole 360, and now she even is a part of an organization where they wear these shirts that says free mom hugs, you know, and this is basically to represent for all the children who lost their family when they came out because the family wouldn't accept who they are. And they spoke on how she was at the last Pride event, you know, giving out free hugs, honey, and that her daughter was actually there. And her daughter saw her. And when her daughter saw her, she turned around and walked away. We have a moment with Eureka, because, you know, if you follow Eureka's mom passed. And if you saw her on RuPaul's Drag Race, you know her mom was battling, I want to say it was throat cancer, and how Eureka felt about her mom. Like, definitely. And so Eureka had a moment where she sort of broke down and she had a whole moment, and you know, of course, all the women gave Eureka hugs and everything like that, and it was good. Now, what I found very interesting, honey, was Eureka had a conversation with this guy on the street asking him about, you think it's a lot of gay people here? And he was like, I mean, I guess I would feel like it's probably about 50-50. Eureka was like, you think it's 50-50? And then the guy started talking about, yeah, because, you know, the colors. Eureka said, you can't. You can't call them the colors. Yeah, well, the colors. Eureka said, this not the 1930s. You can't use that name. Now, what I found ironic was Miss Eureka. Now, I ain't going to say a whole lot. I'm going to let you live and I'm going to let it go. But what I found it ironic was, aren't you the same person they got on tape using the N-word, sir? Isn't that you? That's you, right? You can't be telling him he can't call people colors because you can't say that. I'd much rather somebody call me colored than call me that. Now, I'm going to let that go. I'm going to leave it right there. So Shangela had a good conversation with Hunter's dad, and telling Hunter's dad, Hunter described being gay as carrying this backpack and carrying this weight. Um, and it was a moment. Shangela got emotional, the dad got emotional, and it was a moment. And again, I can respect the fact that the dad is hearing it, the dad is receiving it, and I think hearing it described that way, I think it really kind of penetrated it a little bit. Again, Shangela brought up a good point. Like, look, we are only here for a couple of days. Like, we are not going to change the world in the few days that we are here. Only we could just open up the dialogue and open up the, for people to see and understand. Like, if we could do that, like, that would be great. So, um, they have rehearsal, and of course, Shangela is a dancer, honey. Shangela is a dancer. And she told Hunter, listen, I'm sorry if I'm mixing up my pronouns. It's no disrespect. So let me just say that before, because I know I keep going back and forth. It's no disrespect to anybody. But Shangela said, listen, now I'm about to be mean, Mom. I'm about to be Joan Crawford, because we're going to get this routine right, honey. I don't play games with my dancing. And so it was cool. We got to see all three people rehearsing and going through picking out their wigs and their makeup and their outfits, and it was really, really fun. They even had this whole montage, honey, where they had a dance party, and when I tell you they was all dancing, they was Vogue, and I mean all three of them all six of them, I should say, because it was all the queens with their the people they were paired with, and they just had a good old dance off, honey. And I mean, sweat dripping down dance off. It was so fun to see. Everybody got into it. You know what I mean? It was just so fun. It was so fun. Um then we see Haley. Erica's daughter agreed to talk to Eureka and agreed to talk to Eureka on screen. And I think, was it David? Eureka's real name is David, I think, because he was going by David. Anyway, uh Haley's thing was, look, I'm glad you all gay pride now. I'm glad you all wearing your rainbow. I'm glad you all like, yes, honey, but that does not erase or take away what we went through. That does not take away what you did to me. So yeah, nah, I don't know if I'm gonna come to this whole, that's all great. Like, that's good that you feel the way you feel. That's great. But go save somebody else's child, because I ain't here for it. And she really wasn't. And I what makes me think is that maybe there, I don't know if sometimes you could say things that you just can't take back. So I don't know if it was a situation of you just said way, way, way too much and you just can't take that back, or if we've done this before and I don't believe you. You know what I mean? Like, there was definitely some of that going on. So, but Eureka said, listen, I get it. I thank you for speaking to me. I understand that it is all is sensitive all the way around, and I'm just coming in here and I'm kind of inserting myself. I'm gonna invite you. I would love, love, love for you to come, and maybe that can start and we can open up the door. And so there was that. Then we get to the drag performance. Shangela opens up the show, honey, and she does. And they weren't worried. They were worried that nobody was going to come, because of course they were inviting the locals, and they didn't think anybody was going to come. Now Bob was like, they gonna come. If they don't come for nothing else but to be curious, because the cameras is here, they gonna come. Shangela didn't think nobody would come, honey. That thing was packed, standing room only. Okay, I don't know where they had the show, but wherever they had the show, it was packed. And Shangela was there, and they had a good time. I mean, she opened up the show, and her drag, who came out first? I think Bob and Daryl, they came out first, and they Bob did In Vogue. They did oh shoot, I wear tight clothing. What, that song? They did that In Vogue song, and poor Daryl. Daryl did good, but you could definitely tell that it was his first time in heels, honey, and he was, but he was good. They had fun again. Again, it was fun. I still ain't like that whole petticoat thing, but we're gonna let that go. We're gonna let that go. But it was fun. They had a good time. Then Shangela and Hunter did their thing, and Shangela came in on the motorcycle with the dad, and the dad even got into it. They had a mohawk. They had this huge, like, exaggerated mohawk on the dad, and so I feel like the dad gave what he could give. He put a wig on. I'm sure he had on some makeup for if nothing else, because he had TV makeup on. You know what I mean? So I was like, I feel like Dad gave what he got. I felt like he gave all he could get. Y'all, I'm getting long winded. Let me wind it. We almost done. We're almost done. They did I Will Survive. Go on now, go, and he did good with the choreography that Shangela gave him, and he had a lot of friends with it to support him and that kind of stuff. So that was cool. That was cool. Um, Last but not least, we had Eureka, and we had her mom. I mean, not her mom. God, Erica, and they did "You Are Beautiful" by my girl Christina Aguilera, and they had this whole reveal. She was lip sync. I mean, it was a drag show. She had this whole reveal, and she had on. It looked like she done took Nina West's dress. Y'all remember that that Pride dress that Nina West wore that had the different colors of the flag. And Eureka had like a variation of it. But I saw that dress. I said, "Is that Nina West? Did she take Nina West? Did Nina West loan her dress to this woman?" And in the middle of it, it said, "I'm sorry, Haley." And it was a moment, because it was a whole reveal. It was a moment. And Haley was there. She came. Haley did come. She did not speak to her mom, and like her mother didn't even see her. Eureka had to tell her mom after it was over that she said, Haley was here. And so it was a moment. It was a moment. And it was so good, y'all. It was so good. And so I just thought this was a really, really, I love this show, y'all. I just can't. Oh my gosh, I can't speak on it enough. I'm not sure. Again, I haven't done a lot of reading up on it. I know that, this is a series that they're going to do, but I just look forward to see what else they do, who else's lives they impact, who else that they may be able to open up to what it means to be gay, what it means to be a drag queen, what it means to be a part of the spectrum. And so for that, I am just here for it. My episode cut off, so if there was more to it after that, y'all know, y'all let me know in them comments. But with that being said, thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.